Good day. I'm Richard Lazarus with the Daytime News. This just in. Stress at Mount Royal College is exceeding normal levels. But let's clarify what stress is exactly. According to Wheaton and Lloyd, it is any circumstance that threatens or is perceived to threaten our well-being and thereby tests our coping abilities. Stress lies in the eye of the beholder, though. Levels of stress may differ for each person. What one person finds stressful may be old hat for another. Causes of stress will also vary greatly from person to person. As a student, you may find yourself under a lot of stress. Little things that you don't think may be causing you stress are. Let's go through some of them. Have you ever been in the line up to the bookstore? Perhaps you've been in a line at the registrar's office. Or perhaps you've been in a line at Subway. Or perhaps you're someone walking down the hall when people are lined up at the subway. You have a car, and you need money to fix that car. That car is your main form of transportation getting to school. What happens when you get here and you can't find a parking spot? You've got 5 minutes to go to class. And what about the weather when it's cold out, like it is right now? You may have bills. Maybe you have some credit cards. Perhaps just paying tuition is difficult. And what about those books? You know, when you really need a book and it's never used, you always have to purchase it brand new. What about when it comes time for exams? Your projects, studying, how do you fit it all in? Let's talk about environmental stress with crowding. Perhaps you're new to the school, you have no idea where any of these classes are, you have no idea where you have to be at a certain time, you finally find a class, you're 10 minutes late. Sometimes you might want to avoid that and not even go into class. You've already caused stress because you were just late for class and because you skipped it. Your time management, you have to have a lot of time management, and if you have a lack of time management, that can be very stressful. And as I spoke before with the bills, your money is a major problem and can cause a lot of stress while you're at school. And of course, last but not least, you have to have a social life. You have work, you've got school, you've got your school projects, you have to have time to relax, you have to have time to go with your friends. When you don't have any of that, it can cause a lot of stress. With it being so widespread and prevalent, how vulnerable are you to stress? We're about to find out. Throughout the program today, we're going to be having a stress test, which you as the viewing audience will be able to mark down on the sheets that are right in front of you. And we will announce the answers at the very end of the show. Thank you very much. We'll see you later for News at 11.
Is your anxiety level high? Have you been able to travel to Mars on it? Then you need a real vacation. Prozac offers you real solutions for the 90s. Available over the counter at most drugstores, and now is available to you through a convenient dispensing machine located in MRC washrooms. Don't let this happen to you. Prozac, real solutions. Official sponsor of the 1989 Winter Olympics.
Hi, welcome to the first portion of our stress test. Follow along with me for the first 4 questions. Question number 1. I eat at least 1 hot balanced meal a day. 1 being always, 5 being never. I get at least 7 to 8 hours sleep a night, 4 nights a week. 1 being always, 5 being never. I give and receive affection regularly. 1 being always, 5 being never. I have at least 1 relative within 50 miles. 1 being always, 5 being never. Stay tuned, and we'll have another stress test later.
Hi, this is Dale McLeish for StressTV, and I'm with
Lester.
And what department are you from?
Interior design.
Okay, I have a few questions for you. First, what are the 4 major types of stress?
Frustration, conflict, change, pressure.
Okay. What does frustration mean to you?
Frustration occurs in any situation or pursuit of any goal placed out of reach.
And then
It's hard for me. Yeah, an example would be the other day I took my car and they said that it would be maybe 4 later on in the afternoon. It wasn't really until 6 o'clock the next day. That created stress for me, like that frustration because I had a class, live an hour away, and to take the bus from school into it. So that created a lot of frustration.
Especially being an IDS student.
That's right. It's time demanding, and I got to be in places at certain times.
Just frustrating.
Yes, very frustrating.
Well, thanks very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Cool. Handshake.
I'm Tracy Karaki reporting with StressTV. I'm at Mount Royal College campus speaking to students about stress. Earlier we were speaking about frustration stress, and right now I'm trying to find someone who I can talk to about conflict stress. Excuse me, sir. Do you have a couple minutes you can talk to the viewers in our audience about stress? And your name is?
Jean-Guy.
Jean, great. Jean, yeah. Okay, Jean, we're here talking about conflict and the major types of conflict stress. Are you familiar with these?
Well, yeah, actually I am.
Great.
I could tell you a bit about it if you'd like.
Sure, if you really want to.
Okay, I'd love to. Conflict is actually when two or more incompatible motivations or behavioral impulses are in competition.
Great.
Yeah, actually if I can give some examples. There are 3 different types of conflict: approach, avoidance, and approach-avoidance. An example of approach would be, I don't know if I want to go to the show tonight, it's the last showing of it, or my friend has tickets for the hockey game and they're really good seats, so I'd like to go see that. An example of avoidance would be, oh geez, I have to go in for surgery for my shoulder. It happened just the other day, I heard it when I was skiing.
Oh, that sounds bad.
Yeah, so the surgery is really going to hurt, and if I go through with that, it's going to be painful. If I keep it off, it's going to be painful, so I don't know what to do. An example of the other one, approach avoidance, would be if I got a good job, say, but the problem was it was a really good paying job.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem was if I had to go someplace like Winnipeg or something like that for it, and I would be kind of stuck in situations.
So there's a problem with moving to Winnipeg for a higher paying job?
No, it's just that all my family is in Calgary here. So.
Oh, that's great, Jean, that's great. Well, I think that probably just about covers it for conflict stress. Thank you very much. Great, this is Tracy Karaki reporting live from Mount Royal College campus for StressTV.
Chris Kuzmanovich reporting for StressTV. We are back at Mount Royal College, as you can see, and we're still dealing with the topic of stress. We're moving on to our third form of stress, and actually we're going to cover pressure. Pressure is caused by expectations to behave or perform in a certain way, and I'm sure we've all dealt with that through childhood, right through adulthood. And everyone has a different way of handling it, a different way of reacting. Right next to me, actually, we have Janet, who has perhaps has 1 or 2 examples of how she has dealt with pressure through her life. Janet?
Well, my entire life I was always compared to my sister because of her talent in basketball. And often it used to get to me and I would try to conform to it and play, but it was just never my interest. So that was really stressful for me. Probably the only way that I ever handled it was, you know, being true to myself and finding out what I really liked. So.
And you didn't like basketball?
No, I do not like sports at all, really. No, I'm on the opposite end of the scale. I'm right into the arts. So, yeah, so that's what I did. I just got to know myself and did what I enjoyed most and didn't worry about it.
And that's what's important.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Well, thanks a lot. This is Chris Kuzmanovich for StressTV, and back to you.
Hi, we're back with the second part of our stress test. Okay, and remember, always answer 1 for always, and 3 sometimes, and 5 for never. Okay, number 5. I exercise to the point of perspiration at least twice a week. Number 6. I limit myself to less than half a pack of cigarettes a day. Number 7. I take fewer than 5 alcohol drinks a week. And number 8. I'm appropriate weight for my height.
It's a fact. There are 4 factors which influence our appraisal of potentially stressful circumstances. Number 1, our familiarity with the challenge. Number 2, the controllability of the events. Number 3, the predictability of the events. And number 4, the imminence of threat.
Familiarity. If you are unfamiliar with a stressful event, it might seem quite threatening. For example, an amateur skydiver.
Control. The more control you have over the event, the less stress it will be.
Predictability. When you can foresee a stressful event, it isn't as traumatic. It's like being, an example, being fired.
And the imminence of threat. When a threatening event will happen in the future, as the time draws closer, stress levels increase. For example, being students and having final exams. This is the third segment and second last. I've got 6 questions here. Number 9, I have an income adequate to meet my basic needs. And you'd answer always, sometimes never, 1 being always, 5 being never. Number 10, I get strength from my religious beliefs. Number 11, I regularly attend club or social activities. Number 12, I have a network of friends and acquaintances. Number 13, I have 1 or more friends to confide in about personal matters. Number 14, I am in good health, including eyesight, hearing, and teeth.
Hi, this is Janet Treen reporting in Mount Royal College for StressTV. Studies have found that there are several different responses to stress. Today we'd like to focus on the emotional responses of stress to students. We'd just like to find some students to interview here. Hi there, I'm from StressTV and we were wondering if you could give us a description for a type of emotional response that you've had.
Like a stress response?
Yeah.
Okay, just the other day, I had an exam at 8 o'clock, finals came and everything. I was here at 2:30 studying, okay, wrote the exam at 8. No sleep at all through the evening, okay? And what happened was, I completely bombed the exam. So as I'm leaving the parking lot, how you doing? Anyways, as I'm leaving the parking lot, this guy cuts me off, Bad day, I'm like, whoa, okay, that's okay, that's okay. So later down the road, I see him, he starts cutting me off, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? So I start getting all mad, I start giving him the finger, and I start yelling, in my car, but I don't think he can see me. And then finally, just like cuts me off big time, and I swear he's from the planet Zepton, okay? So what I do is I follow him home, okay, and gets out of his car, I get out of my car, and I beat the shit out of him. Is that something you wanted? Or?
Well, that would be a perfect example of annoyance, anger, and rage. Hi there, we've moved to a new location in Mount Royal College and we're still inquiring about student stress. Let's see if we can find somebody to interview. There's a perfect example of it. Excuse me, we're doing interviews for student stress.
Sure.
I was wondering if we could interview you on any emotional responses you may have had.
Oh, I can give you emotional responses galore. I don't know. Well, the machine there. But there was a bigger emotional response. Last semester, I had a real hard time with final exams. I got depressed, majorly depressed. It was disgusting. I wrote I couldn't even study. I tried studying, I tried, and I studied for maybe 30 minutes for each exam. It was disgusting.
Would that be test anxiety or just depression?
No, I think it was depression. I couldn't do anything. I'd go home, I'd watch TV. That's all I wanted to do. I couldn't.